Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 316 on my countdown to retirement. So last night, about 9 o'clock, I started doing a fast and an extended fast. My expectation is that I'm going to go at least until 9 p.m. on Friday, preferably until 9 a.m. on Saturday, which would basically for me be a new extended fast record. Like the longest I've ever fasted is 90 hours, and that would put me at 94. But if I make it at least till Friday night, that's 72 hours. So for me, the thing that I know that helps me get through these extended fasts is green tea, and so I had some leftover stash green tea, so I made that this morning. Started off my day with that. Then I had some morning meetings. Then my wife asked me, she noticed there was too much gray coming in. So she asked me if I would color her hair. So I did. And in the next day or two, I'll then put highlighter in it to make her go from being, now a brunette back to being, whatever, a blonde or whatever, a mixed brown blonde hair. Anyway, I did that, and then while I said I had stash green tea, that's not my preference. I like Bigelow green tea better. So anyway, I made a pot of the Bigelow green tea afterwards, and then I consumed some Redmond's real salt to make sure I wasn't going to get any headaches or what have you. Then I went and I contacted I had talked to my primary care physician, and for them to be able to they wouldn't contact my ophthalmologist to get the medical records for the most recent appointment. So I contacted the ophthalmologist, got access to a portal, downloaded the notes from the portal, logged into my PCP's portal, uploaded the medical records there, so they could have a comprehensive review and check off, the little box that says the person's had their diabetic eye exam for this year. Along with all the other things that they continue to pester me about, like getting a shingles vaccine, where I've never had chicken pox. So I'm one of the 1% people in the US that isn't going to get shingles because I don't have that virus dormant in my body. But my doctor didn't believe me. So last year, he actually had me go and have the zoster check to make sure that I never had chickenpox, which came back negative. So, but I get that. I get, the flu vaccine they ask me about every year. And unfortunately, my dad had gotten Guillain-Barré syndrome from getting a flu vaccine, and took him 3 years to recover back to about 60% of his pre-Guillain-Barré syndrome status, and also cost hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical bills. And quite honestly, in my advanced directives, I've got, if I get that freaking thing, you let me die, because what he had to go through is something I never want to have to do. So I already told my doctor, if Guillain-Barré is one of the main vaccine side effects, and it has a higher probability than any of the other ones, it's never going to go into me. So the flu vaccine is one of those things. So I was like, just put it in my medical records. Client always denies getting it because I'm never doing it. So, but he constantly pesters me about that. So, and I went and got all of the pneumonia vaccines, because fundamentally, if you get the flu, again, this is my opinion, right? It's not medical fact, my opinion. If you get the flu, the thing they mostly worry about is that it gets worse and turns into pneumonia. So for me, having multiple, all of the pneumonia shots to protect myself against that seemed like the reasonable thing to do, especially since the pneumonia shot wasn't one of the things where Guillain-Barré was, at the top of the list. So anyhow, I go through handle all the things like, did you get a diabetic foot exam? Did you have the diabetic eye exam? All the things that they want you to check. So I've done all those things. Um, you know, other than the vaccines, which again I'm not going to do. Um, so then I spoke with my mom. She had received two items in from the IRS. One was just a set of forms, for estimated taxes. The other thing was a letter where they owe her money, but they want, and they think they had paid her money, but they have no records of it. So now she has to go back and put together all the documents showing that she again was entitled to the money so they can recut her a check for the refund. So, and this has been going on and off for like 45 years now. So, it's just the next step in the try to get your money back from the government's point of view. So I talked with her through all that, and my sister's helping her pull together the documentation. Um, then I contacted my pharmacy to see if my prescriptions that I had ordered, uh, or that the doctor had reordered, I should say, were filled. They were supposed to be done by 3 o'clock. I called them at 5 after 3. They weren't ready. They said give them another hour and a half till at least 4:30. So, I was like, okay, I'll check with you guys later. Um, then I was last night. I also had been going through some Instagram things, and one of the things that popped up was an eyeglass company called, I think it's Goggles for You. And so I'd never heard of them before, but they were claiming that, they were the least expensive online retailer of glasses. And so I, scrolled through the Instagram ad just to see what it said. Well, then today I decided to do a side by side comparison between them and Zenni Optical, who I've been using for years and whom I just ordered a set of glasses through. So I did that, and as it turns out, Zenni is still the cheapest solution that I've been able to find for getting pairs of glasses that at least meet my needs. So, ones that are single vision distance, ones that are progressive for just general use, and then ones that are computer glasses. When I price those out with comparable frames or whatever, Zenni's still the cheapest for what I'm looking to get. So then my wife, who had been fasting with me, she made it to the 19-hour mark, which this is the first time she tried fasting. So I was pretty proud of her that she got that far. But she was pretty hungry, and she asked me if I'd make her something. So I made her a grass-fed um, burger that had cream cheese in the middle to keep it both moist and also to add some additional fat, with a couple of slices of tomato, and then she uses a mustard mayo mixture that I do for her. That she uses that to dip the meat in for both additional fat and for the condiment flavoring. So I took care of that for her. Then I have a dermatology appointment tomorrow for, well, it was originally just for my rosacea, but given that it's the first appointment of the year and I'm not going to be over my deductible, I decided to change the appointment into my annual head to toe skin cancer screening. And while they're doing that, we could talk about the rosacea items, but only have to then have one appointment with the doctor and not have to go back twice and pay twice as much money. So that's scheduled for tomorrow. So I had to do all the preliminary form completion electronically today. So I took care of that. And then I spent probably another hour, hour and a half doing my PMP certification, and I'm now up to like a little over 13% complete on that. And my son texted me this evening that he just hit 90% on the same course, and so he's getting ready to schedule for his PMP. But he's a project manager in a commercial real estate entity, while I'm a project manager in a media company. So you can get this, same certification, two dramatically different industries with different skill sets. But anyway, he's way further along than me, so I give him major props for that, because it is like the most boring class uh, I've had to sit through. I mean, I can barely stay awake. It's so boring. Anyhow, um, then I contacted the pharmacy again. Finally, the prescriptions were ready. So at about 7 o'clock, I ran out to the pharmacy, picked up the prescriptions, got those back home, and then lastly, I made another thing of um, Bigelow Green Tea, and this time to make sure that I don't have either leg cramps or bad headaches or whatever. In the green tea, I added in element, which I hate the taste of this stuff. I mean, it's salty, right? But it's got your magnesium, your potassium, and your potassium. Potassium and your sodium chloride in a various mixture. I normally just take um, pills that are bovine capsules, so gelatin capsules made from animal products, so that there's no vegetable gelatin included. But in any event, like as I said, I hate the taste of this stuff, but it works. So, when I'm doing an extended fast, I end up using like one packet of that per day, along with, like I said, dipping my finger or something into Redmond's real salt, which, is a quick fix for A, gives you something that's, tasty, if you will. And then also, it gets rid of hunger pains when you're mixing that with either water, green tea, or whatever else you happen to be drinking. I don't drink coffee, but if I did, I'd probably have black coffee to go along with it. Anyway, today is really, for me, the start of a refocus on my health. I've gotten to a point where I'm not happy with either the way I look, the way I feel. Um, and as y'all know, I'm going to go on a trip in the end of the summer, and I'm going to have to buy a variety of clothes to facilitate me being in Norway, in Iceland, and I don't want to buy clothes that are at my current size. So I want to get down weight loss wise to a reasonable size before I have to go buy the waterproof gear that I need when I go on my trip. And then on top of that, I just want to overall feel better, feel better, look better, and be healthier. So I had spent, a long while doing carnivore. Prior to carnivore, I had done paleo. I believe in the low carb diet, but unfortunately for me, I'm a carb addict, and I go through these periods where I can go for a year and a half, and be completely off, any kind of, you know, carbs above, well, when I say above, so carbs that are more than like 20 carbs a day. Like I try to keep my carbs really low. I try to keep them as close to zero as possible. But I can go for really long periods of time doing that, and then all of a sudden there's something that happens that triggers, and then it's it's like, I guess just like an alcoholic, the floodgates open and I can't stop myself, and then everything that I've been um, desiring that I haven't had, you know, becomes like a binge function. So, in any event, I'm hoping that that I can use this extended fast to kickstart my journey again and get back into my low carb lifestyle, drop the weight, and also feel better, and have my health get into a better state than it currently is. Anyway, that's my update for today. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Take care.